Good afternoon. I was going to say good morning, and then I realized it is not morning. I had a busy day so far, so I missed my morning go live. So we're doing an afternoon go live. We're keeping it a little bit spontaneous. I'm sitting out here on the porch. Hopefully you can hear me okay. It's a little bit breezy, and the spring birds are chirping, and the grass is starting to go green. And I'm thinking, spring. It's almost like it's symbolic for like growth and change. And I don't know why nobody's ever really thought of that before. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. So obviously, all right, growth and change. Spring, it's that time of rebirth and renewal. We see the buds coming up. It really gets us thinking about fresh starts. Although, to be honest, we can take a fresh start at any point in our life, right? It doesn't have to be spring. Spring just happens to be that time where we get out, we start mowing the lawn and digging up the dirt. And it's an easier period for it, right? Because the sun is shining. The change is a little bit harder when you go from the sun shining to getting darker. The day is getting shorter. So when you move into winter and things like that, it's the same things in our life, right? It's a little bit easier when the change brings a little bit more light, as opposed to when you're going in the reverse direction. So why does Deb talk about growth and change so much, right? What is it that's gotten me really now focused so much on this? It's really been a part of most of the projects and client work that I've done. And even when I was a teacher, like, growth and change is at the backbone of education. You learn, you grow, and then the more you grow, the more you learn, right? It's a nice cycle. And the better you are equipped to continue to learn more every time you learn. It keeps building on each other. And interestingly, also in addition to that, I always had a really hard time with change as a concept, right? Not so much the growth and the learning part, but the change. And struggled. I mean, to the degree that, like, you could put a new blanket on my bed, and sometimes I would be like, yeah, I can't sleep in this bed. We have to put the old blanket back on. I just think for me, sometimes some of those changes represented to me the inability to be able to go backwards. And because I've struggled with the passage of time for a variety of different reasons, there is a really, really cool old loud truck just went by, so I'm not sure that you heard me, but it was really neat to see that. I should have flipped the camera. I didn't. I apologize. So again, I was talking about with the blanket, right? And I think the reason that I had a hard time with that is the passage of time. And that for that same reason, I always had like a really big passion for taking pictures. I would want to take pictures because if you take pictures, you're capturing the moment, and then you don't lose the moment. So it's that same thing, trying to not have the passage of time. There were a lot of things that in my early life as a little kid happened that were very difficult to deal with, and I wanted to be able to undo, and I felt like there was so much uncertainty moving forward. It's just created a lot of turmoil in me. More than I'm going to be talking about this. I have some writing pieces and some speaking things coming up that hopefully I'll record that go into this depth a little bit more. But again, the idea being that time passing and change and new things and uncertainty. And because of this post-traumatic stress that I was carrying with me from things that had happened, I was really uncomfortable with change. And yet then I became a teacher, and it was all about helping people adapt. Okay, but I still in my mind was thinking it's really just about learning and about growth. I got into the consulting world a little bit accidentally out of a necessity. And as I started moving into different clients, noticed that same idea of education and learning and growth was translating very nicely over into change management and helping people to get through when things were happening. How do you get people that are in leadership positions to learn how to understand where other people are coming from and to move people through things? And how do you get the people that are having changes placed upon them? How do you help them to learn and prepare for whatever the change is? And as I was kind of still framing this stuff as growth and learning, started to realize that it is a lot based on change. And started to look back over the course of my life and the things that I had been passionate about and the things that I'd done, and where a lot of times I thought, oh, I don't like change, but I like growth, that I really was able to adapt. I just kind of had put into my head this notion of I don't want change, because I was thinking of it as something that I had no control over. And we don't always. We're not going to control all the changes that happen. But now that I've moved into this niche, specifically with focusing on getting out and speaking more about it, it still continues to be a big part of what I work with clients on, but now I'm moving into really want to carrying that out to a broader audience. I'm taking more time to reflect on how I got to where I got with this change and growth, and wanting to be a change and growth catalyst, and what does that mean for my day-to-day life, and what does that mean for when I say to somebody, oh, I want to help you as a change and growth catalyst, what does that mean that I'm actually going to do? And it's that understanding and acceptance of moving through the transitions, of applying all of the experiences that we've had in the past to what we have moving forward. We're an expert in ourselves, and because we're an expert in ourselves and our experiences, we can use those to educate other people, because we have perspectives that are unique. I can talk. We're going to do this. This is the second day in a row now that I've not been able to get my words out. We're going to just pause for a second. So you have unique perspective, and that unique perspective offers people an insight that only you can offer. And when we recognize that about ourselves, we're able to see that, okay, I do like change. It's part of my daily existence. It's what I'm getting through. But there are ways that we have to maneuver through that. And so that's really why I've become so passionate about it, because of the fact that I struggled so much with something as simple as like having a blanket changed on my bed. I mean, we laugh about it, but it was the reality for me that I felt this uncertainty, and how is this going to hurt my life? And, what are the ripple effects going to be? So I want you to think about, it's spring, so we're going to tie it in with spring. I know that that's cliche, but as spring approaches, what is something that you have been thinking about, a tiny thing, right? So maybe let's keep it tiny. What is it? What's a tiny thing that you've been thinking about that you could do that maybe it's going to make a big difference, maybe it's not, but that you can try to help you with your growth mindset, your notion and your idea of what change means, and what ability you have to activate change, to adapt to change, to be a change maker in the world. So that's what we're going to do. And again, we're building up here. I'm going to have, 2 more go lives, but I have a feeling it's going to go beyond that. And in May, I'm planning on doing a change challenge, and I'll be talking more about what that all means. It's not going to be a test. I'm not going to be asking anybody to write a term paper on it, but an opportunity for us to learn together, learn from each other, because again, your perspectives are very different from mine, and we can build on each other and we can help one another out. So that is my afternoon. Have not yet eaten dinner, had a very busy day, but did not want to miss my go live, because I promised I was going to do live for 5. This is number 3 of 5 live for 5. I'm looking forward to continuing this. I want to hear from you. I've gotten some messages from people. I really do appreciate it. I'm kind of speaking off the cuff, so sometimes I might seem a little bit discombobulated. That's okay. I want to keep it like that. I want it just to be conversational. I don't want it to be scripted yet for this particular format. If you've got questions, if you've got comments, if you've got feedback, like what I'm saying, don't like what I'm saying, want to talk more about what I'm saying, let me know. I hope you all have a great night, and we are ready for Monday. Bye.